The Man in the Garden. Every morning on my way to school, I saw Mr. Langley. He was my neighbor, an old man with a weathered face and deep-set eyes that always seemed to hide something just behind them. But he was nice enough. He was always outside, tending to his yard, trimming the hedges, raking leaves, planting flowers that never seemed to wilt, no matter the season. "Morning, Mr. Langley." I'd call as I passed by. He would look up from whatever he was doing, give me a slow, crooked smile, and tip his old, sun-bleached hat. "Morning, kid," he'd say in that raspy voice of his. It became routine, comforting even. But then one afternoon, everything changed. I was walking home like usual, kicking a rock down the sidewalk, when I turned the corner onto my street and saw the flashing red and blue lights. Police cars lined the road in front of Mr. Langley's house. Yellow tape stretched across the front yard, fluttering in the wind. Neighbors gathered in tight clusters, whispering. Something was wrong. I ran up to my mom, who stood near the edge of our driveway, pale and clutching her phone like a lifeline. "Mom? What's happening?" She didn't look at me right away. Her eyes were fixed on Mr. Langley's house. Finally, in a hushed, almost disbelieving voice, she said, "They found something. Something horrible." I swallowed hard. "What do you mean?" But before she could answer, I heard a cop gag and stumble out of the front door, his face gray, his hands trembling. The officer beside him put a hand on his shoulder, whispering something, but the man just shook his head. I felt cold all over. Another officer came out, carrying something wrapped in plastic. He loaded it into the back of a van. The door slammed shut, and even though I didn't know what it was, my stomach twisted. Then I saw what they were bringing out next. A chair. Not just any chair. A wooden chair. Old and splintered, with thick leather straps attached to the armrests and legs. The seat was dark, stained with something almost black. They carried out more things after that. A box filled with rusty tools, knives, pliers, a saw with teeth too jagged to be for cutting wood. A stack of old, yellowed notebooks covered in scribbles, the pages stiff like they'd been soaked in something that had long since dried. And then came the jars. Dozens of them. Glass jars filled with things I couldn't quite understand at first. Some held cloudy liquid with pieces floating inside. Others had hair, teeth, fingernails. One of the cops muttered something about preserved specimens, and another told him to shut up. But the worst part? There was no sign of Mr. Langley. His house, his horrible house, was filled with unspeakable things. And yet, he was gone. No body, no trace of where he might have gone. It was like he had vanished into thin air. For days, the police searched. They scoured the woods behind his house, dredged the nearby creek, knocked on every door in the neighborhood. But they found nothing. No footprints. No fingerprints. It was like he had never existed at all. But I know he did. I can still hear the sound of his rake dragging across the pavement in my head. And in the morning when I walk past his yard, his flowers are still perfectly trimmed.